Hello, my students and my friends. Welcome to BANI NETSHALA. Today I'm talking about Dalit literature. We have to understand what is Dalit literature first, and then we have to understand why we read Dalit literature, why it is very, very important for our upcoming UGC NET June 2025 exam. Please see what is Dalit literature. Dalit literature is nothing but it is a part of Indian English literature and it depicts on the lives, experiences, and struggles of Dalit community in relation to caste-based oppression and discrimination too. So now, this literary genre actually encompasses various languages since India has 22 regional languages. It includes Marathi, Hindi, Bengali, Tamil, Telugu, Odia, Sindhi, Punjabi, and others language. It also includes some important storytellings like some narrative styles like poems, story, novels, biography, autobiography, etc. So now I'm talking about in the colonial and post-colonial period, you have Jyotiba Phule, and Jyotiba Phule's Gulamgiri, published in 1873, become a seminal work, okay, describing the plight of untouchable. Again, I say describing the plight of untouchable in India. Author such as Sharan Kumar Limbale, Namdev Dharsal, Perumal Murugan, Bama, Urmila Pawar. So those writers are very, very important writers as we are talking about Dalit literature. Dalit Panther movement led by Namdev Dharsal as well as Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, an advocate for Dalit rights, have played influential role in shaping Dalit literature across India. So now I am talking about early Dalit literature. So first we have to understand the historical, political, economical background of Dalit literature. When we start to read about Dalit literature, we cannot forget or we should not forget the historical background, the political background, economical background. One of the first Dalit writers was Madara Chennaya, an 11th century cobbler saint who lived during the Chalukya dynasty. Okay, history says this. Actually, he is closely associated with Jangam. Okay, Jangam, Jangam, Jangam tradition or order. So now the question is very simple. What is Jangam tradition? So if I am talking about Jangam tradition, so you have to understand that what is Jangam. Jangam is one kind of Shaiva Shakti. Okay, it's a Veer Shaiva Jangam or Shaiva order of religious monks. They are actually the priests of Hindu Shiva or Shaiva act. Actually, it is found in Vasha Purana. Okay, so now I am talking about other things that the historical background. If I am talking about the Varna Prathas, and you all know that there are four Varnas Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Apart from the first three Varnas, there is Shudra who actually serves the other three communities, the other three Varnas like Brahman, Kshatriya, and Vaishya. So here Sudra is called as now Dalit. Okay, so Dalit, that Bengali meaning of Dalit is Bhagna. It is one kind of peace. Our society is alienated. Our society is divided, fragmented. You know, when I'm talking about modernism, when I was teaching modernism, that time I says that the root, the the root of modernism actually is found in Victorian period. because the Victorian period, the Victorian ideology, the Victorian philosophy was being destroyed, was being alienated or fragmented, because people lost their belief on God. They think about science, technology because of industrial revolution. So this is very important thing you should keep in your mind. And even from the Marxist point of view, if I am talking about Marxist point of view, so you definitely understand that our society is alienated or fragmented by two different kinds of categories. Like we can say one is haves and other is have nots. Haves, these categories actually were divided on the basis of power structure. So you know that haves, they have power, have nots, they have not power. So they have no ability to change anything. They have no ability to create a new society, to create new rules, regulation, conventions. No. But who actually controls the power, who actually holds the power, they have ability to do whatever they want. Even if I'm talking about the canon, you all know that what is canon. It is made by some authority, and that authority holds power. That authority have power to do something, to change the canon. Okay, so this is the main theme. Apart from these or that, in order to get rid of this kind of oppression, this kind of perennial predicament, they start to go for movement like the Dalit Panther movement. And Namdev Dhasal is very, very important for the Dalit Panther movement. You all know that. Perumal Murugan, Namdev Dhasal, Jyotiba Phule, then Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Those are very, very important writers, and those are very, very important contributors for Dalit literature, for Dalits. So these are very important. So as I'm talking about, one of the first Dalit writers was Madara Chennaya, an 11th century cobbler saint who actually lived during the Chalukya dynasty, who is also regarded by some scholars as the father of Bachana poetry. Bachan. Okay, so these are very important. Apart from this, you have Pancha Sakha poets. So who are Pancha Sakha poets? These are very, very important. You know, Balaram Dasa, Jagannath Dasa, Jaswant Dasa, Anand Dasa, Achyutananda Dasa. Those are very important poets who wrote some poems on the basis of Dalit, on the basis of the perennial predicament of Dalit community, the oppression of Dalit community. So as I'm talking about sometimes ago, that our society is actually, the whole societies are divided into four varnas, and the first three varnas like Brahman, Kshatriya and Vaishya, they are actually served by Shudra, and Shudra are called as Dalit. So they have no power to change anything, they have no power to revolt. So that's why they actually were subjugated, oppressed, even we can say they are suppressed. They are actually dominated by the upper three communities of societies. So now the most important thing when I'm talking about modern Dalit literature, from the NET point of view, modern Dalit literature is very, very important for your upcoming UGC NET June 2025 exam. Apart from these or that, we have to also know about the historical political background of Dalit literature, why Dalit literature is emerged, etc. So now I'm talking about modern Dalit literature, and you know that some writers of modern Dalit literature like Narayan Guru, most important Narayan Guru, Jyotiba Phule, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and even Satyanarayan Ayappan. Very, very, very important writers for your upcoming UGC NET June 2025 exam. Just note down the name of the writers like Mahashara Devi, Arjun Dangle, Rabi Singh, Bama. Those are very important writers. Perumal Murugan, Namdev Dhasal, even Mulkraj Anand, Raja Rao. They contributed some kind of Dalit contributions. Okay, Dev Kumar, Apna Theatre, very, very important. You should keep in your mind. Last previous year question, if you follow the previous year question, you definitely you definitely see that this kind of question will be asked in your exam. Apna Theatre, who is the founder father of Apna Theatre, Dev Kumar. Okay, next I'm talking about Dalit literature in Marathi, because I'm talking about that Dalit um, Dalit literature is not bound in one language. It is rather it is written by a lot of languages like Marathi, Punjabi, Telugu, Bengali, etc. etc. So I'm talking about Marathi Dalit literature. Orun Kamble, Shantabai Kamble, those are the very important. Namdev Dhasal, Daya Pawar, those writers actually wrote some kind of influential Dalit contribution, Dalit writings. Sharon Kumar Limbale, those are very, very important. Next, I'm talking about Dalit literature in Bengali. So, Shekhar Bandapatthaya, very important writers who is closely associated with the movement, Namashudra movement. And you know that this movement is actually founded by Harichat Thakur and Jotinwala's Shikor Chheda Jivan, very important. Jotinwala's Shikor Chheda Jivan. Those are very, very important. Kalyani Charal. So, Kalyani Charal's Chondalir Kavita. Chandalinir Kavita, sorry, Chandalinir Kavita. So, one thing you should keep in your mind, Charal. It comes from Sanskrit language Chandal. So, Charal is also one kind of Dalit. Okay, so these are very, very important, and you should keep in your mind some most important writers whom you have to read. Like Dalit literature, when I'm talking about, just you pen down the name Baburai Bagul. Again, I say Baburai Bagul, and the translator of Baburau Bagul, Jerry Pinto. I translated his autobiography, When I Conceal My Caste. Next, Basant Moon, Growing Up Untouchable. Again, I say Growing Up Untouchable, Basant Moon, and it is also translated by Jerry Pinto. And Baluta, Daya Pawar. Just write down Baluta, Daya Pawar. Next, Dalit Panther movement, you all know Namdev Dhasal. And actually, Namdev Dhasal's translator was Dilip Chitre. Dilip Chitre, Namdev Dhasal's translator. Arjun Dangle, Poisoned Bread. Arjun Dangle, Poisoned Bread. Okay, next, Sormila Rage, a consolidated woman's testimony, Surmila Rage. Sharon Kumar Limbale, very important, Akramase. Sharon Kumar Limbale, Akramase, those are very important. Apart from some Dalit woman writers, Shanta Bai Kamle, Baby Kamle, very, very important, the prison we broke, Baby Kamle. Kumut Paude Anthas Fourth, Kumut Paude Anthas Fourth. उर्मिला पावर आयुद्धान, बामा संगोती और करोके, मीनाकंडो स्वामी, touch, Miss Militancy. Those are very, very important for your upcoming UGC NET June 2025 exam.